Greetings, family. Wow, okay. This is a video that we have been taking time thinking about it. It's about Congo, Eastern Congo to be specific, Goma, Kivu province, and the areas around, the border of Rwanda and Congo. And on Monday, we saw the March 23 movement taking the city of Goma. It's the biggest city in the eastern of Congo. The people of Kisangani to the north, the people of those areas around, that is the economic base, and people also say that it is one area that is very rich in minerals, but it's an area that have been seeing a lot of war, we can say instability, war, people fighting, people getting killed, civilians, a lot of internally displaced people, refugees going to Rwanda. We have seen people being murdered, people being, in fact, even gore images of people,
men eating men's society.
Yeah, people literally eating. But when you look online for this information, because we have talked about Congo for quite some time, we have said hashtag free Congo, Congo is bleeding. When we talked about Congo, we talked about Sudan. Do we get information? No. We find people blaming Kagame, that is one, and saying he's the reason. We find people from Congo, a lot of people from West Africa actually saying it's Kagame. We don't know. Other people will be blaming the president of Congo. He said, you are the reason why this is happening. We have seen these guys meeting in Nairobi. We have seen them last year meeting in Luanda. They agree things. They say we are going to sit down with the M23. They decide it's happening. They come back home. Then the president of Congo, Tshisekedi, I don't know what gets into him and says we are not giving audience to militants or terrorists and all that. But what happens is even the M23 movement says we want to sit down and talk, but the government does not want this to happen. So they keep fighting. So the question is, what has been happening?
The M23 are people of Tutsi origin who are Congolese. But they are now being told, no, you are not Congolese, you are Rwandese, and that is why you see the frequent accusations that the Rwandese government is supporting them. So it is a combination of factors, local factors, commercial reasons by illegal miners, foreign hands, which want to ensure that Congo remains the way it is, local politicians who benefit from a disorganized and disorderly and conflict-ridden Congo. All these factors conjoined create what is essentially a state of confusion which needs resolution by the entire continent of Africa. And
we try to understand because the Western media will tell you Kagame, but we don't like talking about what the Western media or what the people are saying. We like looking at the people of the area where this is happening. And looking online, we saw the people celebrating when the M23 movement took over Goma. What does that tell you? When we talk about Haiti, when we see the people, when we listen to what is him, Jimmy Shehize barbecue, we understand that he fights for the people. Now we are listening to the M23 leaders. His name is Willy Ngoma. What is he saying? He's fighting for the people. We listen to Kagame, we listen to PLO Lumumba. What are they saying? Then we go and listen to the president of Congo. What is he saying? He's blaming Rwanda. So what we have done is we have to go back into history. There was the kingdom of Rwanda, and the kingdom of Rwanda had 3 tribes, the Hutu, the Tutsi, and there's another one that I have forgotten. I have written it on the screen for sure. And when the Belgians came, they took over Congo. You know, Congo had Portugal before, which was in the area of Angola, that is the Bakongo Kingdom. Then we had Belgium, which massacred about 5 million of our brothers and sisters. Then there's France. So those are three people, colonizers who have been roaming that area, because Congo is very rich in minerals. And when we talk about the lakes, the Great Lakes region, it is this area. So they found the Congo Kingdom, but the Congo Kingdom had a problem. And this problem was the people of Hutu were like being pushed down, and the people of Tutsi were like, you know, the kings and all that. And there was a problem in which they kind of blew. So it became a bigger problem of hatred amongst these two people who were of the same kingdom. And this is what later, this hatred was what led to the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. But remember, when these guys came, there was a meeting in Germany, the Berlin Conference, in which they divided these countries. So Rwanda Kingdom was sliced into a smaller Rwanda. And the people of Rwanda, we can call it the Wanyarwanda. Can we say that? The people who speak the Kinyarwanda. Some people were divided into and were found themselves in the Congo. Like in Kenya, we have the Maasai. We have people of Maasai people in Kenya and Maasai people in Tanzania. Taita people in Kenya, Taita people in Tanzania. Kuria, Swazi people in Eswatini, Swazi people in
with the AES countries. We
have
Nigeria and this one.
We have the Fulani people all across all those countries.
Divided now into different countries.
Yeah. Then there was the genocide. And the people who were perpetrating the genocide ran into Congo, and they were accepted into Congo. But now it has become that the people of the Rwanda people, the Wanyarwanda, we can call them that, especially the Tutsi people who are Congolese, are being fought. Like these people went there and they are fighting them, saying they are people from Rwanda who came to. So it's very confusing, but it's also, you know, you have to look into it like something that started a lot time ago. Even there's this letter being written by the Americans, like the the USA writing a letter in 1965 saying that these people are not from Rwanda, they are Congolese. But we are seeing each and every government that comes in and uses now these genocidaires who came and joined the military of Congo, fighting these people as if they are not. We don't know the motive. And we are even seeing the president saying, you know, these people are from Rwanda. So it's something that has come and has fueled hatred among the people of Congo in such a way that the people of Eastern Congo have been persecuted for far too long, murdered, you know, maimed, and that's what led to now a treaty that was done in March 23, I think in 2007. But because there was another group that was fighting for these Eastern people, but when the treaty was signed in March 23, the Congolese government did not follow what was agreed. So these people formed a group called March 23, and they've been fighting. If you go
for
online,
the liberation of their people, that is what they say.
Yes, for the liberation of their people. So they are liberators, they are freedom fighters for these people. And we don't judge, we only listen to facts. So these people have been fighting for their people. Then we have, when you go online, you find people calling them militants, terrorists, and all that, and they are being supported by President Kagame. We are going to come back.
Kagame led M23.
Yeah, they call it that way.
Murudie kunyumba, tutawalinda na tena hatutatoka hapa tena. Sawa? Tunawahakikishia kuwa hatutatoka hapa. Tuko tunawafuata. Na siku kidogo mtarudia kusikia mlio wa risasi hapa Masisi. Sawa? Mungu awalinde ndugu zangu.
But for this, I imagine myself. Imagine you are Kagame and these are your tribes people being killed across, like they were killed in 1994 inside Rwanda and they are also being killed outside. Wouldn't you support them?
For territorial reasons, we found ourselves, unfortunately, in
Yeah.
Africa, in a
Being
place
divided.
where we have to now say, I'm Swati, you are Kenyan, so we are not, we are different. We are the same people.
Yeah.
It's even worse when it's a border that divides you and still sharing the same name, same praise name, same everything. But well, for international laws in terms of territory and all of that, yes, it's for me, it is not okay for him to go over to the next country to say, I'm fighting for my people in that country. Because if you cannot fight the border that divides you, for me, I feel like it's not good for you to cross over that border when you still acknowledge that there's a border that divides you and you still acknowledge that I'm part of this border. Unless we remove all of these things and we unite, I think the biggest strategy these people have done for Africa is to keep us divided.
To divide us.
Now that is the best, because when you look at Congo, even this issue, just understanding it, you will see a lot of people fighting amongst themselves, amongst it, even Congolese fighting in the comment section of a video about their situation, because unity is something that Africans we have been denied, or we've denied ourselves for the longest time, because right now we know that the white men came and divided us. But what are we doing about it? We are continuing the division. Some of us even know that we just want it that way because we don't want to interfere. You don't want you guys to interfere with our country or our territory. So unless you really remove those borders, for me, unless Congo can acknowledge the fact that there's Rwandese, it's a mix everywhere.
Yeah, it's a mix, like in every country.
Hold each other's hands and say, why are we fighting? Who are we fighting? Because let me tell you, this thing is not even about Tutsi, Hutu, I don't know, Rwanda, Congo. This thing is a foreign power making sure that the situation remains this way so that they can continue benefiting from Congo. It has nothing to do with these countries, these neighbors, these brothers. It has everything to do with foreign powers. And it breaks my heart to see our African leaders knowing that and still going to report to these foreign powers and saying, let's look at ways in which we can mediate the situation. Let's look at ways. Of course, we know that these ways that we are looking for is ways to make sure that this conflict continues so that your masters succeed.
We have a problem because like I said, there have been meetings. Like even today is Wednesday, 29th January 2025. There's a meeting in Nairobi. I don't know if they came, but Shekedi and Kagame were supposed to be there. Last year in December, they were meeting in Luanda, Angola. Before then, I remember the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, had even gone and spoken to the M23 leaders. These guys want to talk, but Shekedi doesn't. He says we are not giving them audience. They sit down, they say, okay, we are going to talk. He goes home, I don't know, he talks to who, and he says we are not giving them audience. Why? And you have said that, for Kagame, supporting these guys, for me, I think if he does it, because he says he doesn't, it's allegations. But if he does it in the sense that those guys are not willing to create unity. So the only thing that these guys are going to protect themselves if by me supporting them, then I'm going to do it. But if there's something that is going to help this, it's these people sitting down and recognizing that these people are not Rwandese, they are actually Congolese. And you might argue that it's this is not what is happening, but this is a video of the former president of South Africa speaking about it.
As you know, part of the population in the Eastern Congo is Rwanda speaking, the Banyamulenge. Part of the problem in the Congo is that from the days of Mobutu, they refused to recognize that the Banyamulenge are Congolese. They might be Rwanda speaking, but these are Congolese. And it's the responsibility of any government in Kinshasa to look after this section of the Congolese population like any other. But you remember what happened during the Mobutu years. Mobutu took the position that these are foreigners. It's like the South Africans here saying, I mean, they're Tswana-speaking people here in the Northwest. And suddenly, the rest of the country says, those are not South Africans, they must go to Botswana. So what happened in the Congo case, that's how you had the Mai Mai emerge in the Eastern Congo. The Mai Mai were specifically targeting the Banyamulenge to drive them out of the Congo into Rwanda. But I'm saying it's a responsibility of the central government in the Congo to look after this population, which is Congolese. It's not Rwandan. It's Congolese. It's Rwandan speaking.
And this is another video of the former president of Tanzania speaking about it. Long before we even came to this world. It's been a problem, not a Kagame problem, but a problem of the Congo and a problem of Africa.
The kingdom of Rwanda was partitioned between the Germans and the Belgians. And the Belgians took a part of the kingdom of Rwanda, the traditional kingdom of Rwanda, with the people. So when we say respect that border, which was agreed between the Germans and the Belgians, we must also be saying respect the people whom you received under that partition. You can't turn around and say, we no longer want you. You are no longer citizens of our country. What are you going to do? Are you going to return them alone, or you return them with the piece of land? You can't say go home. Home where? We couldn't in Tanzania get fed up with the Maasai and say the Maasai go home to Kenya. Kenya is not their home. These are Maasai of Tanzania.
That one that has been maintained so that
they can continue looting.
Breaks
Like,
my heart, and I know one day these people will pay for it.
but you know what I can say what shocked me, or what opened my eyes, actually opened my eyes, is the people of Goma were celebrating that the M23 has taken the city of Goma.
As a lady was saying, we've been running away in our lives. We've even lost, like, we don't even know where to run to next, because we found ourselves in Goma, and now this is happening in Goma. Where do we run to? Like, do you imagine your whole life running away, scared?
But the people in Goma were celebrating.
Right now they're celebrating because they feel safe in the hands of M23.
M23.
But what have their lives been? What has their lives been?
So is it the M23 who have been killing people of it, or it is the FDLR that came from Rwanda, remember, after the genocide of 1994, and was received by the government of Congo? So who is because I've watched videos long since 2022 of the leaders of M23 talking, and the people, how the people where they live feel about them. They feel protected, and this is why they are celebrating. But what happens, like there's this one journalist who, these guys, the FDLR, and the people of who live in the people of Congo thought that she's Rwandese, and she was being mistreated.
And our team was attacked by locals who thought I looked Rwandan. They attacked us pretty viciously and attacked our cameraman Garwin. So,
then what happened after that? We saw the government like supporting people to destroy embassies, ban, loot, and it is open. They are saying, you have to support it. Like, Congo doesn't have a government. Congo needs an Ibrahim Traore. But as I said, this story is very confusing because there are a lot of stories.
Strategically kept that way so that
Then another thing that shocked me is we saw the president of one of the countries of the East African communities and also the chairman of the East African community, of which Congo is part of, Rwanda is part of, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Sudan, they are part of, Somalia is part of. We saw him in the morning, rather than thinking of how he can solve it locally, he reached out to Emmanuel Macron, the French president, and they talked about how, you are talking you are talking to the person who is the root of this. Like we started with Belgium, France, and Portugal. He's the root of this, and you are there talking to him. Another thing is we saw the president of Rwanda also reaching out to the new Secretary of State of the US. Now he's reaching to the US saying they have supported them. Anyway, they're having a meeting today in Kenya, and we are hoping that dialogue will,
I don't think so.
will prevail. And then after dialogue, may these people not continue being prosecuted. May the Eastern Congo be, an area that is not, it's very rich in minerals. May they get what they deserve. May they get benefits from the minerals. May they not be left behind by, the government. This is something that has been happening in, I think, some parts of Cameroon that speak English. We saw such a thing, and we saw a lot of people being killed. And, when you become a president, work at uniting the country, not dividing some. By the way, even the EAC military was involved, and they went there and they started keeping peace, and dialogue was coming, was at the end of the tunnel. But the president of Congo said, no, you are liaising with the M23, go out and bring in the South African defense, the SADC defense forces, SANDF. And they came. Now they have been pushed out. Goma is gone with the M23
a lot
movement.
of them have been killed.
So you wonder what has happened. The EAC tried to help. This guy says, no, I want the SADC. So for me, honestly, I don't like this, what the president of Congo does, because he keeps on building it, like banning.
The reason I'm saying this is something that is being strategically supported in the background so that it never ends. And brothers and sisters, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. We'd love to end this video here. We could talk and talk and talk about this. Maybe we can have a live this coming weekend and have conversation with you guys and get to understand how you guys think and what you feel about this issue. Let us know if you're interested in the live this Saturday. We will definitely schedule one depending on the votes. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.